It's a very warm welcome from the BCA Pool League World Championships at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, for this second chance 8-ball second round match between myself, Mike Holt from San Diego, and Paul Schweigart from Echo, Oregon. Close Fargo scores there. You see there's only 16 points in it, and it's a race to 5. Paul won the toss and will break here, rack 1. Makes a couple of balls off the break. Not a bad split. Just looking at the table, I think the 10-6 are slightly problematic. Over there on the long rail on the right. Also the 9-8, slightly congested. But he's got a choice of openers. He can get the 7 in the side to take solids if he wants, but I think he may go for the stripes. He can take the 15 and travel back up table. Precisely what he's done. I think he has a combo here. And play this gently, could just leave the 13 over the pocket for his next shot. Got a bit of an issue with the 10. I think the 9 will go in the side. And he's going to take it right now, maybe try and nudge into those balls, but slightly overhit that. You've got to be very accurate going into those side pockets. And so he's liberated all the balls here now, so everything is open. The only thing I'm not sure about is if the 1 would pass the 9 into this bottom left corner. Also the 5 may have an issue going in the top right. And from where I am, I think the easiest opener. Oh, it's a bit tricky. You've got a nasty cut back on the 7. Got to try and squeeze that 1 into the side of the pocket. What I do need to do, if I can't make a ball, is make sure that I put an obstacle in the way so that Paul can't run out. And I think I'm going for this here. Yeah, it made its way in nicely enough. Half the pocket was available. So it's a combo in the side now, putting all the 7 onto the 6, try and leave the 7 there. Yeah, that's worked out quite well. I can now use that 7 to try and break out the 5. I've got a couple of ways of doing this. Could try and go into the 10, try and hit the 5 directly, which is a bit tricky. Or I could try and go rail first and make the 13, which would clear the pocket for the 5. And that's what I tried to do, but I hit too far up the rail, and so just got that double kiss on the 5, on the 13 rather, but 5 is available here. It's a slow roll. Should leave me on the 4 in the same pocket. And then if I get the slow roll this in, I think I should be good. The 3 will pass the 8 into the side. Just want to make sure I don't go too far up the table, because I do want to try and stay below the pocket line on this 3. But that's a poor shot on the 4. And I've given Paul a chance to take this first rack. Just got to watch his shape. That's coming around nicely. And he's got a good angle here, so he can just get out into the table again. And a pretty much natural angle, just come one rail towards the centre of the table. And dishing out punishment for my missed 4 is Paul Schweigart. He's going to take a 1-0 lead, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. We do appreciate that. It helps us with the channel. So it's an alternate break in this format. So maybe the break here, rack 2, go for the second ball on the right. And the stripe dropped in. But as you often see with this side break, get a cluster of balls on one of the long rails, and so there's that cluster of 5 up by that top right corner, so that makes both suits a little bit awkward. In terms of openers, I've got a simple 3. In the bottom left, or I could take that 12 in the left centre, but and you can see, giving this a bit of thought, it's tricky either way you do it. With that 6-7 over where they are as well, they only go in the top left. You'd have to get short side behind them, but they would afford an opportunity to maybe break out the 1. So his solids I'm going for. Fuller forward, should leave myself a 2 inside. Now I could play up for the 6 or 7 right here. Obviously the 5's waiting in the opposite side, but it's a good idea to try and do the breakout earlier rather than later. Just looking at the angle I've got here, a little bit flat on the 6. I need to be able to generate quite a lot of speed going into those balls, and I think I'm probably likely to just get the 7 rather than get into the 10, or better still, behind the 10 and onto the 1. So I'm hoping for a better angle next time around, and then just take the 5 and use the 12 as a stopper. Actually, it's the 14. I do tell them, sorry about that. Green bomb. Yeah. Now, I'm slightly off angle here. Cue ball, if I follow forward, is going towards the left-hand long rail. And I do need to try and get shape on that 6, same pocket as the 4, so just weighing up various options. Think power draw may be the option here that I go for. Maybe a little trace of left spin, which would reverse when it hits this bottom cushion. Try and avoid the 13 and get up there behind the 6-7, short side for the same pocket. Just got to be accurate here, using a lot of speed. And managed to get pretty much where I want it to be there. I do have the angle now. This is slightly better than the angle I had before. I can definitely get into these balls and try and open them up. Still a chance I'm going to hit the 7 on the way in. Going to give it some juice though. I'm not going to baby this. And just walking away from the table there, the guy on the adjacent tails very close to me, and didn't want to put him off or get put off by him. There it goes. Need a bit of luck here. He ended up flicking the 7 and the 10. The 1 did not move. And what options do you have here? Oh, the 7 is super thin. Trying to cut that in. I know those top 2 pockets. I mean, it does pass, but it's incredibly thin. Thinking if I were to put bottom and a lot of right on the cue ball, I should move the 1 with the cue ball as I finish the strike here. So I'm trying to catch as thin as I can. And that was too thick as it happened. But I could have finished worse. I mean, I blocked the 12, not left him anything easy at the top of the table. He's got the slightly impeded cueing if you want to take the 14, but he's taking the 13 because he's got a cleaner shot. Nicely played. Now you're looking like he's got to take the 12 here. Wants to make sure he doesn't line up that 10 and 11.
And their brings.
I got him rail first. Able to flick the 11. I think he can cut this in, but so they'll tend to try and hold for the 10. Maybe he could try and just cannon the 10. He did that, and that worked out nicely. So now this 10 takes the cue ball to the last 2 stripes. He's looking good here. If he can stun this 13 and come out to the center of the table, he should be looking at 2-0. So once again, Paul coming in with a late run after an error from myself and takes that one. So 2-0 now, Paul leads. And he has the break here in rack 3. Going straight down the gully to the head ball. Unfortunately, coming up dry this time. Looking at this table, well, both suits are fairly attractive. The 11 is in an awkward spot for stripes. So, 5, I've rolled that down the rail. I could leave myself on the 11, and if I leave myself a little short of the pocket line, I could just nudge that 11 out of the way, and then the 4-6 are easily accessible. And the remaining 3 solids are all by the centre pockets, and they all go. So it's all about rolling this one in and just coming up a bit short of the pocket line. He used to hold the pocket there, but going in at that flat angle, it was played at the right speed to just drop in, even though it hit the rail about 3/4 of a diamond out from the pocket. But I finished perfectly on this, so I can just play a gentle little shot and just nudge that 11. That's all that was required. Now the 6 goes. Just going to play this with a little bit of right. I want to get the cue ball to avoid that 11. Oh dear. But the outside, I didn't allow for it enough. And just push the cue ball offline a little bit. Caught that ball too thin. That's got to go down as a bad miss. But I think I may have just about gotten away with that. Could have easily left Paul an opener, and then we could have been looking at 3-0 there. Well, if you can Yeah, I think he may have been trying to just get a little graze off the ball on the way through that. So I'm back to the table quickly. Thanks, easy opener with the 6. I'm just trying to make sure I get on the 4 here. I want to get rid of that, don't want to leave it up there. And a little angle so I could just play one rail up for the 2. And just want to make sure I'm slightly above the pocket line here on this 2 ball after playing the 4. So I can just drop down and finish short of the pocket line on the 7, which would enable me to then play the 1 in the same pocket and hopefully get across for that 8 in the opposite side. That's what we're just checking out there. Make sure I get precise shape on the 7, just above the pocket line. But I think I've rolled a little fraction too far. Now this is pretty flat. So were I to just roll this thing or play a stop shot, I will have the wrong angle on the 1 and I'll have to go down the table and use some rails, trying to avoid the 12, 13, well, the 10 and the 14 as well, to try and get up for that 8 ball. So just looking if I could draw back off this rail now where my tip is, get a controlled backspin shot and leave myself as flat as possible on the 1. Just be careful you don't hook yourself behind the 14. And this looks okay, I'm still slightly off angle, but I can follow forward, hit the short round just before the side pocket. I need a lot of top and right in English to get above that 9 ball. And that's not quite good enough, you see. I didn't get the reaction I needed off the cue ball. And so I'm hooked, I can't hit the potting angle for the side pocket. I could probably hit it thin enough to cut it in the top right, but it's very scratchy if you do that. And it's only a little sliver of this 15 that's stopping me getting through, so just looking if I were to do a masse, a real soft shot. I'm just going to get all the spin on and just do a little quick bend around that 15. Here, I'm only going to jack up quite high here. And it's all about catching it soft enough for the swerve to operate. That's what I'm looking at, that little curve. Not quite enough. And so a chance for Paul now to extend his lead. No obstacles in the way. All he's got to do is just keep shape with the cue ball. Run this table. And okay here. That's finished a little awkward. I think he's got to take the 15 now. I mean, you could, of course, play a hook. There's nothing stopping it from doing that. You could just roll onto the 12. Leave me in all sorts of trouble. But I think he's attacking here. White to 8, but it went in. Now, if you gets this 9 and shape on the 14, you should be good. I don't know if you just mistimed that, and that's given me the game. I gratefully accept that opportunity because I was not looking forward to going 3-0 down. So I can just make this 8, it'd be 2-1. I'm going to say that was a reprieve. I get the break here at 4. Once again, if you're enjoying the stream, guys, or enjoying the game, please consider subscribing. We really do appreciate it. So this time, that second ball break didn't do an awful lot of good. See, there's a huge messy cluster on the right hand side of the table, and didn't leave anything appetizing for Paul. Can I try and drop this 13 in the side, take the stripes? Nice shot. I think he can probably got the 9 in here. A lot of congestion. But it does have an angle now. Playing this 15, get into the cluster. And that's opened them up a little bit. I think he can get the 10 and 11 here. A bit close to his work. And I think he's going to be colliding with the 10 after making this 11. Here, so just use a bit of draw. Actually, 10's not going in a favourable position. That spot just next to the side pocket. It's one of my least favourite positions on a table. For a ball to be, oh, you did well there. Did really well. So now this 14 goes. Don't know if you can do an awful lot with the cue ball. Only tried to go back there. But just a little bit hard. 14 mattled. But looking at the table here, I've got a big problem with the 4-6. The 7 is also a little bit awkward next to the 8 where it is, but it does have a couple of pockets. So I think it's a 3 ball as an opener. Just checking that 7, will it pass? 6. Yeah, I've got the 1 nearby to break out that 4-6. Of course, this 14's in the way. File 2, trying to draw back to that position I was just indicating for the 7. If I can squeeze it in past the 6. But didn't get the action on that at all. So it looks like I'm going to take the 5 now. Got that 5 in a do have an angle that I can get across, maybe split the 6, 7 up. Sorry, the 4, 6. A bit of right on the cue ball. Just make sure this pot well, didn't get the 4-6 and actually just raised the 14. Finished rather close here. Some work. And I'll have to jump right up and try and stun over. Then that spins and not favourable. I think it's the safety. You're just going to roll into the 4, try and just bounce off the rail and then stick to the 4 again. Hopefully get a hook on both those stripes. And the dual purpose of opening up my last 2 safe balls as well. So it's all about getting the pace on this. Yeah, made a rail, and I think I've got the desired snooker on both of those. Maybe you can get through for the thinnest of edges. You could try and cut it in. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. Yeah, calls the bottom left. But just catches it a bit too thin. And that scratch gives me a nice opportunity now to level up this match, 2 each. Just checking if I put the forward down the rail where I'd want to be. I'll leave a nice 6 ball. After the one, that is. Do have a choice. Could take the 6, but I think it's the 1 is the go here. We'll just go past the pocket line and just use 1 rail off the 6. And just a question of being careful. Don't do anything silly. And so, my hook or by crook, I finished up at 2 each. Could very easily have been a bigger deficit, but it's a funny old game pool. Had a couple of rolls. And so Paul with the break. Rack 5. And the strike falls in. And looking at the layout, it's not too bad actually for the stripes. The 1 and 5 around the 8 make it a little bit tricky, but with the 12 where it is, you could always nudge the 8 out with that. Now kicking off here with the 13. I think you can just roll this all the way down the 14, get it in the bottom left. And puts a bit of draw on there. So now it's the 12 in the same pocket. Oh, and it just rattles and stays out, so we'll hand the table over. And just trying to work out a path through here. Just checking if the 5 will pass. Well, it looks like the opener is the 3 ball. Maybe try and nudge that 10 into the left centre. Open up that pocket. And also remove an easy opener for Paul were I to break down. Guaranteed to have a shot on the 7. Either way, just don't hit it too hard and follow the 10 in. Didn't quite catch the 10 full, and just drove it onto the point so it stays there. Makes it a little bit tricky. Now, treetops over the 10. Just looking if I can squeeze the 6 in that bottom left. I don't think the 2 will go, but I think the 6 might. Because at the moment, I don't think the 1-5 are available. I lost the cue ball a little bit here. Somewhat fortunate to still have a shot. That was looking as though it was going to glue itself to the 12 in the most horrible way, but just was able to avoid that. Fate. So it's a slow run in the side. I do believe I can get through to the 2 as well as the 6. And will leave me on the 4 in the top right. Actually, I've got a shot at the 6 as well. And I could... Oh, it's a bit of an angle. I could try and stun. Oh, actually, we're looking now. Looks as though the 1 will go in that right side pocket. So I'll have to come up. I can just try and stun through the gap between the 10 and the 15. But collided with the 15, missed the 6, but again, that could have been worse. The way that the 6 came up and collided with that little cluster, the 8 is still in a bit of a bind. So no easy run out here for Paul. Pretty sure he can make this 10. He just grazes it on the right side. Then there's a chance of a combo in this bottom left. And a nice angle now. He's going to try and break it. Oh, he's going for the angle just to do the breakout now. I think he's just finished short. So he's a bit off angle. Cue ball's going away from the 8 if he makes this final stripe in the top right. So he'd have to do a pretty tough shot if he wanted to use that top cushion to get back down and collide with the 8 and break it out. So instead plays the safe and free of the 8. And he's played a good shot there. Left me rather awkward. Nothing easy. But I think I can do a stop shot. Glue the cue ball to the 8 and free these 2 balls. There we go. Yeah, that's worked out pretty good. But he's got a kick. It's a 2-rounder, I think. You try and hit the long rail like a diamond or so below that. Stripe. He's done well. Is it in? Wow. Real close. And he would have had the 8 there. Bit unlucky. And so I've got to go for the 4, I think, here in this bottom right. And just roll forward a little. Got the 5 in the side, the 6 in the bottom left. The 1, however, you've got to get that in the top left. So it's not easy to shape right now. And you'd have to get good on the 15 if you wanted to draw it back for it as well. So cue ball might be a bit close to the rail for that after this shot. First and foremost, though, you've got to make it. Okay, so slightly off angle on the 5. I think the natural path for the cue ball is going to go forward and collide with the 8. Could take the 1 now. Slightly tougher pot. I'm looking at the 6 though, trying to come up the table, and you'd have to finish pretty good on that 5. You'd have to finish pretty flat. So you could just roll it in. That's where I'd want to be. Got to be precise here. is not where I want it to be. Yeah, completely underhit that. Didn't get the path of the cue ball as anticipated. And so what do you do here? I'm actually looking at a very thin cut on the 5. It's makeable, but cue ball's running loose. But I've decided I'm going to commit myself here. Playing this with a bit of inside helps me make the thin cut. I caught that so incredibly thin. Drops in the unintended pocket, so hand the table over, but managed to get a hook. So once again, I got a decent roll at a crucial time. I think he's got to kick at this again now. Well, he came close last time. And he's, wow. He managed to double kiss it against the point of the jaw. And it just stayed there. So the billiard god's smiling on me once again and giving me another opportunity to win a rack that maybe should have gone the other way. I just have to roll this one ball in. I think the natural shape will be there for the top left. Just got to put a smooth stroke on this. Stay still. And it's there. So once again, we do appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing. It really does help us with our efforts to try and grow this channel. Keep videos like this coming to you. So this 8 ball, remarkably, will give me a 3-2 lead. When you do get the rolls, what you've got to do is make the most of it when you get it. So I'm copying Paul's break here, going straight down the gun, and I've made a solid in the top left. And this is a very favourable looking table. All the solids go. Got this little 3 in a line here. The 3, 4 and 7. And you've got the 1 and the 6 that are connected down here at the bottom of the table. I'm actually going to take these now and get rid of them. There was an argument to take in the 3 there first, but thought I'd just clear the bottom half of the table. I was going to use one rail, come back towards the centre of the table for one of those 3, depending which one I finish on best. I stay a bit closer to the side rail than I wanted. I'm going to take the 7 here. I'm going to be ended up nudging the 4 towards the rail. Which I don't really want to do, but as long as it doesn't block any of the other balls, I should definitely have the 5 after this. Yeah, and I've got a little angle so I'm going to try and do a stun shot off the top cushion and then back up. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to be. Almost flat on that 3 so that I can just roll it in and leave a little angle on the 4. Play like a yo-yo type shot. Get the 4 in the top right and come across for the gap. Make the 8 in the top left. So a little stun run through there. Just give me a real good angle. And nice and close to the shot so I can gauge this one precisely. This is where I want to be, right here. And just play the cue ball across one rail. And that's pretty good. And now just be accurate with this 4, rolling it up that rail. And do not give this enough pace to make it to the other side pocket. As you go out of the line like that, And that's pretty much plumb. So this 8-ball is for a break and run. Also, put me on the hill. And so Paul breaking here. Rack 7. A stripe in the side, another one in the corner. Oh, a little bit of congestion there with that little mini cluster. That means that the stripes, well, actually the solid's also got a bit of a problem. He's got to try and break the 3 out there, but unfortunately didn't make it. Needs to have another go at it. The 5's also a little isolated and not altogether short. It will pass into the bottom left. So he's gone below it now. That's a good shot. Just going to push this in, roll up, get the 6 in the right side. But he needs to think about that 3-ball, whether he's going to try and break it out off the 6 or leave it until the last shot. And he actually just misses there. And so I come to the table, needing to run these out to win the match. Just trying to work it out, get the pattern, or a workable pattern in mind. I think you've got to take the 10 to get the 13 available in the top left. But you could just kick off if you want to with a 9. You have to control this and almost kill the cue ball a little bit, so you leave the 12 in the opposite side pocket. I'm wanting a little bit more draw. This is a bit skinnier than I was after. Should still be okay. I'll be able to roll forward. 1 up to 10. And the next ball. No. Too thick was the cry, but that's rolled rather fortunately once again, blocking the 6. Had I left an open 6, he'd have been up and running. He's got to take the 5 instead. This will avail shape on the 1. Fist up. He's going to collide with these. And that's a good shot. Does the 6 pass? Hard to tell from this angle. Definitely not got the whole pocket. I think the 13 might be blocking the ace. He's just playing it safe here. Just trying to leave me glued in the stack. So, what do you do here? I'm looking as though I can play a full ball hit on the 13. Just draw back a little, freeze the cue ball to the 3. Just want to make sure where that 13 ends up though. Yeah, that's okay. Didn't want to be moving the 1 really. And having the 13 drop by a pocket is always good. A bit of a tricky situation here, Paul. think his instinct is to attack. And this could be a time when defense might pay off. It's hard to find safety though. He was trying to hide behind the 1, but he has left me this 13. Now there is a pattern here. The 13 goes, the 12 goes in the right side pocket. You roll forward, you leave the 14 in the top right, the 10 in the top left, and then the 8 goes in another 4 pockets. I do want it to be a little bit above the pocket line here. I was thinking about a little flat. Here, so do the stun through. Use the 6 as the stopper. Now I'm going to take the 10 now. Use this 3 as the stopper. Slightly hampered queuing. And the 14's gone a little bit thinner than I would have wanted, so I don't think I'm going to try and hold this. I'm going to use the bottom cushion, the short rail, and try and come back up for the 8 in the top right. I'll try and finish parallel with the side pockets if I can. I'm really just trying to compose myself here. That's why I'm taking that extra bit of time. Recognise the importance of the shot. A little heavy, I think. Yeah, so it's a slightly tricky cut. Shouldn't be a problem. You just got to make sure of it. Keep still. Nice smooth stroke. Don't try anything fancy. Just a slow roll. So this 8 ball will give me a 5-2 win over Paul Schweigart. And I will advance to round 3 of this second chance 8 ball tournament. There it goes. Thanks very much for watching, folks. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And tune in to Mothlight TV for the next installment of this second chance 8 ball from the BCA Pool League World Championships in Las Vegas.